Hi, I'm Chris here. Welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're watching my video, please make sure you read on the description and the title below for the current software version that I'm using right now. My goal with this channel is to help you to become a better modeler. So please take a moment and let me know in the comment how am I doing. Remember to leave a thumbs up so it can help the YouTube to share this video with a wider audience. And if you aren't subscribed, please do so and click on the bell for future content. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how do you create parameterized column in TASCIII. So when we log into our software, the first thing you need to do is to go to the drawing tab over here rather than identify tab. So the difference between these two is you look carefully on when you click on the drawing tab over here, it will appear most of the features will be in helping you to model your column faster, such as sloping column, align with the edge and the slab, and copy to others floor. However, in the identify tab over here, when you click on it, it will appear most of the features and the functions that will help you to identify the column, like pick sideline and the label as well, and open up your drawing. So if you are not doing this, I prefer that you go to a drawing tab. Maybe sometime you will accidentally unclick the lock and select on the drawing, which is we don't want that to happen. So we will go to the drawing tab over here. So the next thing will be if your tab is closed. So the first thing you need to do is to go to the column tab since we are doing column. Go over here, select the column. There are three icons over here. So in these three icons, when you hold your mouse longer enough, it will appear the description of the icon. So in this case, I'm clicking on the cylinder look. So it will appear as column bracket C. So for the next one will be stiffener and the last one will be corbel. So if you do not like this view, you can always expand this window. As you can see, when I move my mouse cursor over the middle line here, it will change to this icon. One is changed, you can click on it to expand. Yes, from here you have a better view of all the icon below. So for my personally, I do not prefer this method because it has taken a lot of space. So I prefer to have a look, have a better view like this. So for the column, to create a column, you need to click on this one. The next step will be select on the plus sign over here. Once selected, it will appear four type of column can be created. So in this case, we are going to create a parameterized column. So we're going to select this icon. So once it's selected, it will appear another window, which is select parameterized drawing. In this video, you can select the column shape and also the types over here. So in this case, we're going to open up our drawing, column detail, which is this one. So I'll prefer you put this column schedule and the details on the left of your screen so you can have a easy to view. So in case you do not have this dual screen, you can also import the drawing over here in the drawing manager. Once you open up the drawing, you can move your drawing closer to your projects. Let's say it's over here. Then we will look into the column schedule and input the information that we want. To create the L-shaped column, we have to move to the add over here, select the parameterized column. Once selected, it will appear at the window, so it will easily to fill those values according to the schedule over here. So as you can see right now, there's A, B, C, and D. Actually, these four alphabet represent that A is over here, B, C, and D. So right now is A is 300, B is 400. So we have to make sure the value is filled correctly. Then we press OK. Once you are done, there's your column. So right now we move on the next one, which is the T shape. We can use this one then rather than this one because this one is easy for us to fill. However, we need to make sure that the dimension is actually correct. To cross-check on this one, we can click on the right click, select measure distance, and then you can select and make sure the distance over here 1006 and 500, and then we want to make sure there's the same as the floor above 1006 and 500. In this case, if they both are the same, so we can just create the column T shape. So in the T shape, you can click on the tab over here. Right now we will appear L shape. So once we click on the T shape, the window section will be changed to all the T shape. Select the column that looks more like your column. Let's say for this one is a T shape. I will select the TA. So once selected, we have to make sure we fill in it correctly. A, B, C, D, E represent A, B, C, D, and E. So we just key in accordingly. A is 400, B is 800, so C is 400, and D is 500 and 500. So click on OK, and then here you go, you got your column. To change on the column marking, you can move to the column over here, select it again to change it like this, or you can select on the column and change it over here. So right now we're going to talk about the concrete grade 30 here. Both is at grade 30, which is at the same grade. So we have to go to the concrete grade row, which is this one. As you can see, when you click long enough, it will appear the description. But if you do not like this view, you can always drag this open, just like this. Or you can drag the whole window open and expand it, then just like this, right? Okay, so for the concrete grade, it's actually bracket C30. What is actually a bracket means? The bracket actually means is by default. The default will be go back to the floor setting over here. Once you open up the floor setting, it will bring you to another window. So right now we are on the level 1. Make sure you click on the correct floor to check on this table. So from here it's actually grade 30. So the floor below also grade 30. So which means that when we copy the column from floor bottom, then it will be follow exactly on the same grade in the table over here. So for the concrete grade in this table, you need to do it correctly because it will help you in speed up your process. Let's say you have studied the drawing first, then you saw that the most of the column which at the same grade, then I prefer you change it right now before you start modeling your column. So it will save you a lot of time. Right now we have to change it. In this case, we do not have to change because they are at the same grade. And right now we're going to talk about the blue color versus the black color. Blue color actually means is that public entity, and the black color means is a private entity, which is also meant by individual. Give an example over here. So when I press on the column, if I were to click on the column, if I were to change, let's say the size over here, change it 300 for the A to 400, press OK, then the size will become bigger. When I unselect the column over here, the size appear is the same as what I did over there. So if I will change it again back to 300, once I press OK, the column will automatically change as well. So however, for the pivot entity over here, let's say the floor elevation I change on the column, I will change this top elevation to 4. And then when I unselect this column, I will select the C6 again. So from here, it will remain the floor top elevation because this black means the private entity, they will not change directly. So if I will point the column again, both of them are in a different height. If you select them together, you can see there's a question mark over here, which means it's inconsistent over the top elevation. The next we will talk about, click on the add over here. You either can select the add, then it will appear there's the shape of LA and the T shape over here. From here, you do not need to go into and check on the actual size, but select on these two columns and then select the important message to let the info to appear beside the column name. Without selecting on the column, you already know that this column is actually L shape and is grade 30. The next, we need to fill in the summary info and the construction phase. For this one, if you fill it correctly, it will arrange itself when it comes to the final report over here. Trust me, it will save you a lot of time from there. So let's say this is a tower. I can just copy up this thing and then paste over here. Try do not type this thing, because if you type it wrongly by alphabet or maybe by capital letters, the software will detect it in a separate row. So prefer not to type. And also, if you found that this thing is like you need to scroll a lot, you can try this attribute. Select on the project setting, project attribute, select on the column and hide those unwanted, which is you are not likely to use it at the moment. When you want to use it, you can also uh, open this thing up again. Okay, I'm selecting on this one since we are not using right now. Click OK. It will appear less information over here and easy to see. The next will be on the construction zone, which is column over here. So select the column and paste the column over here. For this construction phase, actually we can fill it like a COB and the round column and the normal column. Once we click on it, it will appear exactly that the things that we want, the arrangement. To point on the column, need to go back to the draw tab over here. Select on the column that I want to point. Click on the point. It will appear this column. I can select on the F4, which allow me to easily to point the column onto the edge of the cat drawing, just like this. And also for the T shape, using the same method as before, click on the F4 again to easy pointing. So right now I point the column over here in the first floor. In the ground floor, just now we saw the column schedule. They are using the same column, so we can go to the draw tab over here, select the both column and copy to the floor below. After you've done all the column, and then once you cross check, remember to calculate the quantity. By calculate, you can select on the quantity over here, select the calculate. It will appear this window, or you can press on the short key, which is F9, as you can see, F9 over here. Then select the window. Both of them are the same method for calculation. Once everything done, select on the report over here, view quantity by category. Select the range, and then the report will be appear over here. You can customize the report according to your needs, to your want, by selecting on the range and also the classification that you're going to use. So right now in this project, we are using summary info, concrete and construction phases. As you can see, the column that we done just now is located over here, C6 and C7, and the C6 and C7. Level 1 is on the tower and the ground floor is on the podium. Yeah, that's all. From here, you can extract the quantity easily directly from here, and you also can show and unshow the subtotal. Well, thank you.